First on the news at 11, Virginia has decided, and it is a big historic night for Democrats. Abigail Spanberger is projected to become the first female governor of Virginia.
Adam said to our daughters, your mom's going to be the governor of Virginia. And I can guarantee those words have never been spoken in Virginia ever before.
The Associated Press is also calling the lieutenant governor's race for Democrats. State Senator Ghazala Hashmi is projected to beat Republican John Reed, making her the first Muslim and Indian American to hold statewide office.
And for Attorney General, the Associated Press is projecting Democrat Jay Jones to win despite those controversial text messages that had threatened his campaign.
Former President Barack Obama took to X tonight congratulating all the Democratic winners, saying it's a reminder that when people come together behind strong, forward-looking leaders, we can win. Thank you for joining us at 11 o'clock. I'm Lorenzo Hall.
And I'm Leslie Foster. Tonight, we've got your election team coverage on all the key races across the Commonwealth and what is shaping up to be a huge night for Democrats.
Yeah, let's start with our Matthew Torres, who has the latest now on Jay Jones' campaign. Matthew.
Hey, Zoe, we're just outside of the convention center where they had their party tonight. If you look to my right, we still have people trickling their way out of here, but clearly they are excited. Not only did Jay Jones win, but the entire Democratic ticket won and really leading this Commonwealth into a new direction. As far as Jay Jones, he is now the first Black Attorney General-elect of Virginia. And during his speech, he had two very clear messages tonight. He is thankful for those supporters who never gave up on him, especially in the midst of that text scandal, as well as knowing he has that responsibility to make sure all Virginians trust him. Now, the crowd cheered as he went up that stage with his wife and little child alongside him. This was the closest of all three key races. But Jones knew heading into election night that this was going to be a tight race. His controversial texts imagining violence against the state leader cast a dark cloud over his campaign. But clearly that was not enough. In the very end, he made an aggressive approach to remind voters that a vote for his Republican opponent is a vote for President Donald Trump's policies, and that clearly was in his favor.
Donald Trump, MAGA, and those corporate special interests believe that Virginia's government should be beholden to them. But tonight we sent a loud message to them and to every single person across this country. Virginia belongs to the people. Together, we stand firm against the people who would take us backward. We will use tonight as a springboard to reject the politics of divisiveness and division. And we will build a brighter future for every single Virginian.
Jones has really campaigned that he is vastly different from Jason Miyares. And so he says he is looking forward to moving forward and really being able to work on some key issues. Some of them he highlighted, which includes lowering prescription costs, reducing violent crime, and protecting abortion rights. That topic alone really got the crowd cheering. Guys.
They don't get much of a runway to get it done. They got to start tomorrow.
That's right. All right, Matthew, thank you. Let's get to our Simone D'Alba now, who is in Richmond, where Abigail Spanberger declared victory about 3 hours ago.
Yeah, Leslie, Zoe, what a night in Virginia politics. What a night to be at Abigail Spanberger's headquarters because, of course, she was just elected as the first female governor of the Commonwealth. And listen, this was a packed house. This place was rocking when it was announced just about an hour after polls closed that she had clinched that nomination for governor, and the room just erupted. Everyone watching history play out in real time. And I want to say, you know, Spanberger, as the first female governor, said these results are sending a clear message with her decisive victory. Take a listen to this.
I know in my heart that we can unite for Virginia's future, and we can set an example for the rest of the nation. We are still a Commonwealth in every sense of the word. We are built on the things we share, not the things that pull us apart. And I am proud that our campaign earned votes from Democrats, Republicans, independents, and everyone in between. That's the Virginia I know, that's the Virginia I love, and that's the Virginia I will have the honor of serving as your next governor.
I want to talk about two different things here, polling and political rhetoric, because we have been seeing, especially in the polls leading up to election night with some of the voter turnout, we saw some speculation, some numbers that Abigail Spanberger was leading decisively, up to 10, 11 percentage points over her opponent, Winsome Earl Sears. So that did translate into voter turnout on election day. The other thing I wanted to mention, political rhetoric. So we have seen a real big shift in how politicians, especially this election night, are trying to shift how they communicate, shift away from some of the political violence, political rhetoric that we have been seeing that has just gotten so intense, especially with the J. Jones scandal. Abigail Spanberger really setting the standard here, essentially saying, look, we're bringing decency back into politics. And she took the stage, she talked about the government shutdown and also how she was going to fight for Virginians who are really caught in the middle of this tug of war right now. Take a listen. So she called on Congress essentially to close the government shutdown, to stop the government shutdown. Of course, it's so rare, right, that we see a historic government shutdown at the same time in tandem with this election night. So that's what we watched play out. She says her focus now really is on defending Virginians and how she's going to go to bat for them, not only in Washington, but really in the Commonwealth, how she's going to stand up, push back against Donald Trump. We'll see if this is a referendum on Donald Trump. We'll see how this plays out for the 2026 midterm elections. But regardless of how you voted tonight, a historic evening in Richmond as we watched Virginians elect the first female governor of the Commonwealth. Back to you all.
Yeah, she can celebrate tonight, but tomorrow the work begins.
Yeah, in the midst of a shutdown, lots of layoffs. There was a lot of work to do, Simone. Thank you. And we know Winsome Earl Sears addressed her supporters tonight from Northern Virginia. It was a really tough night for Republicans in the Commonwealth.
Yeah, that was the mood from her election night rally, too. Our Marcella Robertson has been in Leesburg all night, where that race was called less than an hour after the polls closed. It's pretty quiet there now, Marcella, and for a lot of the folks who gathered there tonight, pretty disappointing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly a disappointing night for the supporters here. This place, the convention center in Leesburg, has completely cleared out now. Obviously not the outcome that the supporters of Lieutenant Governor wanted to see, but Winsome Earl Sears, she got up on the stage tonight. She gave a concession speech that really set a tone that we had not seen from her throughout this campaign. It really talked about unity and uniting Virginians and moving forward. She also said something that really stood out, said that she hopes that Spanberger would move forward with all Virginians in mind, not just those who voted for her. And so Winsome Earl Sears, she took the stage tonight with her husband, her 2 adult daughters, to give that concession speech. And she said she really leaned on her faith today throughout this campaign as well. And Earl Sears told her supporters that she actually called the governor-elect Abigail Spanberger when she found out that she had won this race and left a voicemail congratulating her and wishing her success. Take a listen.
I asked her to please consider all of us Virginians, that she will represent all of us and not just some of us. And I wished her success. If she is successful, Virginia will be successful. That's what I wish for her. And I asked her to support policies that will unite us, that will not divide us, that will strengthen our families and keep us safe. And that if I can ever be of help doing that, I'm here. I'm ready to volunteer.
And Earl Sears never got that endorsement from President Donald Trump. It is unclear if that would have helped, but in the end, we know there were so many factors that played into this, including the pain of so many Virginians, the federal government shutdown that really was the backdrop of this election. And it's important to remember, too, not just this government shutdown, but a lot of the President Trump's, his administration's, his policies, the DOGE cuts that have impacted so many Virginians and federal workers for the last 11 months. So obviously that that the economy is really what came out on top and what cost the Republicans really a significant loss here down the ballot. Ultimately, Earl Sears' campaign strategy and the other Republicans fell short tonight, so we heard her give that concession speech instead of a victory speech. Again, just a disappointing night for her supporters here in Leesburg. As far as her future in politics, that is unclear right now. Obviously, you heard her say that she would volunteer and would help unite Virginians if called on by the new governor, Abigail Spanberger. That's the latest here in Leesburg. Back to you.
She also mentioned leaving a voicemail to the governor-elect
Sure
to congratulate her.
So perhaps, you know, maybe they will get together and maybe show some bipartisan spirit. Yeah. We'll see. All right.
Marcella, thank you.
We're also checking in tonight with Republican Attorney General candidate Jason Miyares and his campaign. As we mentioned earlier, Democrat Jay Jones is projected to win that race.
Our Alexis Wainwright is live in Virginia Beach, where Miyares talked about his future shortly after 10 o'clock tonight. Alexis.
Well, Lorenzo and Leslie, I can tell you that the mood here in Virginia Beach has dramatically changed within the last 65 minutes or so. Many of the people that were here in the room had as much confidence as Republican candidate Jason Miyares had when it came to this race. Now, during the beginning of his speech, he had mentioned that the message that he was now giving was not the one that he initially planned for, but he did send well wishes to Jay Jones, his opponent, the projected winner in this race. He says he knows all of his supporters may not want to hear him send well wishes, but he says it's important because he wants to make sure that the next attorney general here in the state of Virginia keeps everyone here in the state safe. Now, we also heard him turn to the other side and say and remind Jones and other Democrats who won tonight that they are going to have to make sure that they work together with Republicans moving forward and that everyone needs to be on the same accord. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Politics is like a pendulum. The public sentiment swings one way and then the next. Tonight, it swung a little bit too far in the wrong direction, in my opinion. And folks, it will swing back. It always does. The Democrats that have won tonight need to remember that as they govern. The people of Virginia do not want an extreme agenda. They do not want a government that divides us. They do not want a partisan radical approach out of the people they are sending to Richmond. They want both parties to work together.
Now, Miyares says that he doesn't know what's next for him just yet, but he says he's not done. At one point in here, though, it turned into a celebration for all the work that he has done over the past couple of years when he was the Attorney General. The last thing in his speech that we want people to know is that he reminded everyone that the Republicans may be down right now, but they are definitely not out. Back to you.
You know, election night is always a tale of two stories, the victor and the vanquished, the highs and the lows. We see them all.
All right, Alexis, thank you.
Let's take a closer look now at how these votes broke down across Northern Virginia.
Yeah, Matt Gregory is here in studio tracking that for us. What are you seeing, Matt?
All right, so we're going to move beyond Virginia's kind of like race right here with Spanberger in just a second, but I want to show you sort of where we saw some growth, by the way, right here. So basically, this is Spanberger winning by 14% of the vote. That's what it looks like tonight, right? And I'm going to show you this map right here. We're going to compare it to last year when Kamala Harris in November won by 52% of the vote, so about, let's say about 6%. So she almost doubled the percentage points of what Kamala Harris did. Now take a look at where she did the best. I want to keep your eyes here. This is 2024. This is that I-95 corridor right here of, we have Stafford County as well as Spotsylvania right there. And the lighter blue and the lighter red mean some different things. Boom, she kind of sweeps in this area, goes more blue. But there is one other thing that we got to talk about that I want to get you to, and that is the balance of power. The Virginia Democrats had a 51-49 advantage in the House of Delegates in Richmond, right? They're going to walk away tonight with at least 56, and this means those efforts to do redistricting with a Democrat majority in the House and the Senate, those can move forward, and we may just see a chance for Virginia to redistrict and try to go up against Texas and Missouri's efforts coming up this spring. Back to you guys.
Yeah, not quite as simple as it is in Texas for sure, but they are a step closer. All right, Matt, thank you. Let's move beyond Virginia now to some of the night's other big races. First up, New Jersey, another big win for the Democrats. Mikey Sherrill has been elected governor, so she keeps New Jersey blue. In New York City, voters have elected Democrat Zohran Mamdani as their next mayor. He will become the city's first Muslim mayor, and at age 34, he'll also be New York's youngest mayor in more than a century. In California, the polls just closed about 12 minutes ago, and the AP has already called it. Proposition 50 has passed, That's the ballot measure that allows the state's Democratic leaders to enact a new congressional map ahead of next year's midterm elections.
All right, our Election Day coverage doesn't end right here. The WUSA 9 morning team is already in the newsroom working hard to bring context to these results we're getting in tonight. So join WUSA 9 mornings starting at 4:30 a.m. and streaming on WUSA 9 Plus until 10. If you missed any results, just visit our website, WUSA9.com/elections. We're updating them in real time.
All right, let's check in now with our forecast.
Yeah, the Chief Top Bashut is here with us tonight. So, Top, who's going to see the strongest winds tomorrow?
Out to the west, 2 words tomorrow, windy and warmer. So here's the thing. We have wind advisories now for our mountains and for parts of the Shenandoah and the Blue Ridge. Winds could gust up to 50 miles an hour, but there's going to be strong winds inside the metro. We'll give you an hour-by-hour forecast of the winds and also talk about the coldest area of the season around the corner.